What is up, everybody? Joining us here is Cool Sports Guy, joined with Tom. How you doing today, Tom?
I'm great. How are you?
Doing awesome, thanks. What a great week of sports we have to discuss here today. Lots of great things, and usually we'll do a little recap of everything we're going to do, but there's so much stuff. I'm just going to get right into it, if you don't mind. What do you think?
Go for it.
All right, so upset central in the NFL. Everybody who is anybody showed up to play some games, starting with first game, Giants versus Raiders. You catch any of that game?
I did. Kind of it.
What'd you take out of that? That was a pretty crazy little I mean,
no, go ahead.
Go for it. Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of we all know there was 4 teams at least. We know Giants, Raiders, Bills, Jaguars, Raiders, Bills, Cowboys, and Saints winning the game. And in this case, it all went the other way. So a lot of surprises in this game. Like the defense really showing up for the Giants, making life horrible for Derek Carr. But the run game, though, did you catch that? I mean, the Giants' run game was pretty stellar. Devontae Booker filling in for Saquon Barkley. What'd you think overall of the performance, though?
Overall performance, I thought it was great. I think the number one thing that I noticed, which I don't think anybody in the NFL noticed, I feel like I was the only one that noticed. Right before the game, Daniel Jones and Derek Carr went and switched jerseys, it seemed like. And I think that explains a lot of the outcome because I haven't seen Daniel Jones play this good, at least in a minute. And
no, for real, yeah.
And no, seriously, like just watching that game, I mean, the mistakes that was being made by Derek Carr and like the turnovers. I'm not saying Derek Carr's a perfect quarterback, but at least this season, I mean, he is maybe there's a couple of people in the MVP talks and he was not too far, behind them. He was playing great football, and I don't know what just happened, but he had a couple of really bad interceptions. So he had a pick 6, and then he had a really bad interception in the 4th. Daniel Jones played really well. And the only thing I don't know if I agree with was the pass interference call. I believe it was late in the 4th. It was like a 2nd and 13. I feel like the ball was uncatchable, in my opinion, for Ingram. But nonetheless, I mean, I think that interception late in the 4th quarter put the nail in the coffin for the game. The Raiders, to me, at the end of the day, it was just one of those bad games for them. Nothing was just going right. Both teams definitely struggled on 3rd down. And I think I saw more struggle from the Raiders, especially at the goal line. And then, of course, believe they were down 4 points in the 4th, and then there was a missed field goal, which definitely did not go in their favor. Giants went back and they scored the field goal, which kind of put the Raiders behind. So overall, I just think it was just a bad game for the Raiders and a good day for the Giants. I don't really think I look at the Raiders any differently, and I don't think I look at the Giants any differently either.
No, yeah. There's you call a spade, and you keep moving on, and hopefully the Raiders don't let this be that plank they walk off and that's it. We can't win a division or anything like that. So they're still in it for the long haul right now, I guess. So I don't know where the Raiders are at. They're all AFC West is pretty lined up.
5-4 now, I believe.
5-3. Yeah, I guess they had the off week already.
Yeah.
So
all of AFC is at 5 wins. I know that. Or all of AFC West is at 5 wins.
Yeah, so pretty close division right there. It was small little things, like the Giants were doing, and I think you say like Daniel Jones isn't like an amazing quarterback. He's showing like flash of geniuses, like in the past, and I think there's more less often than he should be showing it, right?
I feel like he's like somewhere almost in between of a pocket quarterback and a full like run quarterback. I feel like he doesn't do a little better when it's off script. When he's just like kind of running out of pocket and trying to make a play, he does much better doing that rather than standing in the pocket and throwing the ball. Oftentimes when he's standing in the pocket, I feel like he kind of loses where people are coming from. That's when he gets hit. He tends to fumble the football a lot when he gets hit. But when he just runs out of that pocket, you either see him make a really good throw or just run for it. By the way, I think if this quarterback thing isn't working out for him, he should be a pass catching running back. Boy can run, he can catch. He's just breaking tackles. He would run straight into people. He doesn't even care.
Right. I mean, not bad. Yeah, and that O-line keeping him up on his feet, that didn't hurt too much. I saw I was gonna say Saquon and Devontae Booker just filling in those gaps, just running, making good runs. I think he had like 100 yards, probably like in the first half or close to it, coming into the third quarter. They were really close. The game was pretty close in the third quarter. I think the Raiders were up 17-16, and then just kind of separated a little bit more. Like I said, the pick six didn't help. That was in the third quarter. That pick six by Xavier McKinney didn't help. With the cause that put him up at 17-16.
Yeah, that was
at that point. And then the game ended up winning. Coming off at 23-16. Not game changer, so to say, but like the Raiders could have used that win. If we talked about the AFC West being pretty close right now. Raiders win that game at 6-3, and they're the only team in the AFC West with a 6-3 or 6-2 rather, with the record. Just small little difference. But the Giants, they're 3-6. I mean, there's not really, unless they go on a 9-game win streak.
Yeah, I think the Cowboys are far too ahead of them right now for the Giants to even play catch up. Yeah. Raiders, on the other hand, I totally agree with you in a sense that because, not Packers. Chiefs caught a break by Aaron Rodgers not playing. I feel like if Aaron Rodgers would have played this last week, Chiefs would have lost. And if Raiders would have won, it would have put them, 2 games apart. But right now the Chiefs and the Raiders they both have the same amount of wins in the same division. And the Chiefs are actually going to play the Raiders, if I saw correctly, this coming week. Mm-hmm. So now I think there's more pressure on the Raiders.
Yeah.
Chiefs, people are already starting to count them out, which might be a good thing for the Chiefs because at this point you can't really underperform from what the expectation is. But that's not the case for the Raiders. The Raiders look like they might be gonna win the season or win the division this season, but now they're at 5 wins. So it's gonna be fun to see how it plays out.
Heck yeah, that's going to be a really good one right there. I mean, they're both 5-3, 5-4. So be interesting to see how that division plays out. It'd be kind of hard to call that one right now. It's like, even though, I mean, they got 9 games left in the season, probably, or 8 or 9 for each one. So it'd be fun to see. What was I going to say? I think you were talking about Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love not playing. But I forgot. So let's move on to the next matchup because I remember that stuff. The Broncos and the Cowboys. Wow. What's this? What do you say about that one? Know what I got.
I don't know what to say about this game. I mean, the Broncos just played great football on both sides of the game. Offense played really good. Teddy Bridgewater played so well. And then the defense, Cowboys didn't even score until there was 4 minutes left in the 5. There you go. I'm sorry, 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
I mean, 4 sounds even worse, but I mean, they both sound bad.
So I have a couple of points on that. One, I don't know if you saw that run play by Denver. They were at the 19-yard line. They gave the ball to Williams. He started running. There were 6 Cowboys players trying to bring him down. Not just him. There's 2 others blocking for him. There's 3 Broncos players, but there's 6 Cowboys players around the area. But he was taken down at midfield. Talk about not putting up a fight, right? Broncos actually came to play, and Broncos actually came to win. I don't know if this is one of those games where the Cowboys went in thinking, hey, we're playing at home. We're playing the Broncos. They're not that good. We're great. Don't even practice. We're going to just win this game. Maybe that was the case. I don't know. But Dak Prescott did not play well. that defense didn't play well. I feel like the entire team just played terribly. But the thing that pissed me off more than anything in the world is that with 6.5 minutes left in the game, the Broncos kicked a field goal. And this was after Dak Prescott throws an interception, horrible interception. Broncos go down the field, kick a field goal to put them up 30-0 with 6.5 minutes left in the game. Why is Dak Prescott coming back out to play the game?
Yeah.
Why are you bringing any starters out to? You're not Superman. You're not going to come and score 5 touchdowns or 4 touchdowns with 2-point conversions with 6.5 minutes left of the game. That's just not going to happen. At that point, you're just risking the safety of your players. I just feel like that was just such a horrible thing to do. And then, maybe Dak was just rusty because he hasn't played in about 3 weeks, and because of the calf injury, they had the bye week, and then they also he didn't play against Minnesota last week. But we'll see how they come back.
Yeah, I didn't understand that either, man. I mean, when you're up that much, first off, with the Broncos play selection, you're up that much, with that much time left on the clock. Maybe you want to play it safe. You want to get those 3 points and everything, and not being able to deliver it when it really counts. And then on top of that, you're thinking, okay, 3 points comes on the board, and Dak comes back out to save the day. I don't think there's any logical explanation for him coming out to play that last 5 minutes right there.
My favorite was probably that punt block.
Oh God, I don't know.
That was such a momentum killer.
I mean, that didn't make any sense. But one way or another, they get the ball back. And just keep on moving. The Broncos keep on moving down the direction, With Bridgewater, what I liked was he didn't do anything crazy. I mean, I think the run game, like you just mentioned, the run game was great. And then just like we talked about the last game, the run game sets up the pass game. They end up going in there, and he didn't have to do anything crazy. Just short, quick passes, get the ball out, and his receivers were doing a lot of the work. I mean, that's his job. He was doing really well on it, and he hadn't done it in the last 3 weeks. They went on 3-0, and then they lost the last 4 games, right, or something like that.
Yeah.
So I mean, he hadn't done it. So maybe getting back to basics, doing what he knows he can do. I mean, those big passes will be there later on, but
maybe Von Miller was the problem.
Maybe. I mean,
maybe once they got rid of him, they're just look at us, we're superstars.
You're probably right. Yeah, that darn defense, always getting. But so maybe it'll be later on and show what he has. But it was good that he showed that patience right there in the pocket. Make sure he got the job done. They did 30-0. Maybe they were just trying to get Dak to cover the spread. You know what it was? Maybe something's up with that. Maybe they're trying to. What was the point spread on this game? They couldn't have possibly been.
No, the Broncos were underdogs. So unless the Cowboys were going to win the game, you're not covering the spread.
Oh man, I don't know. They were trying to just make it look nice, but 30-16, right? I think it ended up. So
yeah,
going for 2 points because that always helps in the end. So, anyways,
but he took a sack in that too. That's what I don't get. That's not. The Broncos threw a fit when John Harbaugh decided to run the ball. Remember, Ravens wanted to get their 100 yards.
Yeah.
And this is much worse. It's much worse.
Much. But I mean, maybe the Cowboys will live to fight another day. They're still in first place right now in their division. The NFC, you don't need a lot to do anything right now. In the NFC, 6-2, and the closest team to them is Eagles and Giants at 3-6.
Yeah,
the Washington football team following far behind at 2-6. But moving on to more beautiful upsets, the Bills versus the Jaguars. Again,
I'll let you take this one first.
What do you do? I know what they did. They got a guy, Josh Allen, and they figured they'd get Josh Allen to take him down. Only Josh Allen could get a sack on him, get an interception. Played a hell of a game. I was noticing because how I love my stats. I was noticing Josh Allen's play selection throughout the whole season, and the majority of his passes, he's higher than the NFL. 10 to 20 yards, middle of the field. And you know what I saw every time that he was throwing the ball? There was so much coverage in the middle of the field. He was making those intermediate passes to the right, left, and everything, but they weren't enough. And that's where his big selection is. They cut that part off in the field. Maybe that helped, maybe that didn't. But 9-6, field goal ridden game. It was. I only watched a couple of quarters. To be honest, I only watched because I was like, it's just not going to go anywhere. But yeah, that's what I got on that. Jaguars did their job. Now they're 2-6, they're better than the Texans.
Yeah,
who isn't, right?
Yeah, yeah. I picked Texans to beat Miami this last week. That didn't work out very well.
We won't count that as an upset. We will just call that as a battle of the 1-7s.
So, I lied to you. I have a confession. Beginning of the show, you asked me how I'm doing, and I said I'm doing good. I'm not doing good, and here's why. 2 weeks ago, when me and Jarrett, when we do our picks, we have a lock of the week, okay? And if our lock is wrong, we have to buy a jersey of the winning team or the team we picked against, just because. That's just a fun thing we're doing, which we're probably going to stop because we keep losing too many losses. But here's the thing. 2 weeks in a row now. Last week, I bet against the Jets, and they won.
Okay. Good old Jets.
Okay. Mike White came out of nowhere. I don't even know who the heck Mike White was. Came in, first game of his NFL career, 400-plus yards. Won the game. They were down 10 points in the fourth quarter, by the way. Came back and won the game.
Man.
Okay. So that happened. I had to buy a Jets jersey. This week, my lock was the Bills. Why? Because they're playing Jaguars. And what do? They put up 6 points. Jaguars' offense didn't play very well. They only put up 9 points. And you know what's more sad about the 6 points, Jose?
I don't know.
The second field goal for them to score the 6th point was scored when there was 10 minutes left in the second quarter.
Yeah.
Which means majority of the second quarter and all of second half,
right?
They were shut down. Okay.
It's that middle of the field, man. The Jaguars.
There's barely a minute left on the clock in the fourth quarter. You're down 3 points. You're at the 41-yard line. Okay, you're in field goal range. It's a long field goal, but you're in field goal range. It's a 3rd and 7. At that point, they already have a couple tackles for a loss. The Bills took a few tackles for a loss. Josh Allen already took 3 sacks on 3rd and 7. Goes shotgun, holds onto that ball, look for someone, takes another sack, get out of field goal range.
Yep.
I don't understand.
What are you gonna do, man?
I don't. Maybe the Titans game scared them. Maybe they try to go for it on 4th down. You know, Josh Allen actually tried to run the ball, but then he slipped and he couldn't get it. And this time he was thinking, oh, maybe we shouldn't run the ball. And I'm not saying they should run the ball. The running the ball wasn't really working for them. But, dude, when they're getting to you so fast, when they're hitting you so often, you already took 3 sacks late in the game. You got to be like, hey, snap happens, 2.5 seconds, I'm releasing the ball. Even if that's just throwing it away, right? 2.5 seconds, I'm releasing the ball. That's happening. You can't just grab the ball and hang on to it. You can't try to scramble.
No.
That's when you got to put a play together and execute. And they just got out of field goal range, and they couldn't come in. You lost to I don't know. They have not looked the same since their bye. I know it's not supposed to look like that, but they were looking so good. They went into their bye week. They struggled against Miami through 3 quarters. Miami had them shut down, and then they finally pulled it together in the 4th. And then Jacksonville, out of all the teams in the NFL, just straight up stopped them. I don't know how, but
yeah. I mean, those maybe people just bought into their own hype. Said, like you said, I don't got to practice. Let's just go in there and do what we got to do, and they're going to come back stronger. I mean, 5-3 though is not a real. I mean, they've lost to good teams. They lost Titans. They lost to the Steelers. Who else did they lose to? They lost to. Oh yeah, no, Jaguars.
Jacksonville. That's not a good team.
No. I mean,
and neither are the Steelers.
But Steelers were the first game of the season, so you really can't. Like, the Steelers came back and they won the last 4. Was it 4 or 5 games? They've kind of redeemed
Yeah,
themselves.
they're
not
actually
amazing,
looking
but-
better than we thought.
Do what?
They're looking better than last year to me. Even though last
yeah.
year they went 11-game stretch of they were 11-0.
And they're 5-3 right now, same record as the Bills. They didn't
better.
start well, and I think they what they play this week? They won or
They
beat
played the Bears. They won the game.
Right.
A lot to say about that game.
So I mean, that's their 2 losses that come in the last maybe before those games and everything, but they were on a little win streak right there. They didn't start great, but they're not as horrible as they were at the end of last year for sure. Yeah, the last 4 games for Big Ben was pretty bad, and they needed the refs to win this last game too. So, but we won't get into that. We'll let Jared come in and talk about that next week. And but so yeah, let's see here. We got one more. No, yeah, I didn't really watch the Falcons and Saints, but no, you did, right? So, what are your thoughts on the Falcons Saints travesty?
You know who the happiest person watching that game was?
Drew Brees. Oh, in the game. Yeah.
Tom Brady was the happiest person watching that game.
Man, yeah.
Because he already knows he can beat the Falcons. He's not very worried about that. But the Saints, the fact that another division rival is able to give the Saints another loss, it's such a help for the Buccaneers.
Oh, yeah.
And so I'm sure he was very happy. I thought Matt Ryan played pretty well, at least through the first 3 quarters of the game. He played pretty well last week too, but there was just too many drop passes. This week, the entire team played pretty well. There was the strip sack, I believe, in I think that was in the 4th quarter, and then the game the ball went all the way back. They ran it all the way back to the 5-yard line where they got it, and then there was the interception.
Yeah,
I think wasn't there an interception? Either way. All I know is the game went 24-6 late in the 4th quarter. The only thing that scared me throughout that game, I wouldn't even say scared me, was just like mind blowing, was Atlanta being Atlanta. 10 minutes left in the game. You're up 18 points. Saints scored 19 straight points. With 1 minute left in the game.
Little memories.
How?
Memories popping up. Memories.
How?
I mean, it's old.
They scored 19 points. How? That made no sense to me. In 10 minutes, and Atlanta didn't score a single point. The only thing different with Atlanta this week was the fact that Atlanta was able to actually go back down the field, get in field goal range, and kick the field goal to win the game. But it was I don't think Simeon's playing bad. I think Simeon's actually playing pretty well. And I don't necessarily think they're missing Jameis Winston too much. I don't think Winston was playing much better for the Saints, at least a few games that we did see him in. But overall, the Saints are a very good football team. They're just, I guess they're just struggling on the quarterback position, and Taysom Hill is definitely not the answer, in my opinion. But
I mean, they're holding on strong right now. They're 2nd place in the division right now, just a game behind the Bucks. So I mean, like, they could just find that missing piece, and if maybe Simeon's the one that takes them to the promised land, so be it. But I mean, yeah, I think between him and is it Taysom Hill? Yeah, like I go with Simeon personally. Feels like it's not like gimmicky quarterback.
Taysom, he's not a quarterback.
I mean,
I'm sorry, but he's just not.
Between the two, between the two, that's your probably your best shot right now. And if they don't want to get anybody in there for right now, if they can't get anybody, I don't know how their cap is looking like. I know it was looking crazy at the end of last year, but if they didn't made any room, I don't think it's this year's a year. But they're keeping it afloat, 5-3. Who knows? Maybe the miracles can happen, and the Saints come marching back in. Ha! I did it.
I was a little surprised that the Saints didn't try to trade for any quarterbacks. That was just
right.
Maybe he got very excited the way Simeon was playing against the Bucks, and it was just like, this is the guy.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, he beat Tom Brady single-handedly. So he's so let's move on to the next one. Titans versus Rams. That's Sunday Night Football, right? Yeah, that was Sunday Night Football.
Wasn't that a game?
What was that? What do you think about the Rams? They didn't look like themselves. They've been beating up on everybody, and the Titans have been a powerhouse coming through, with everything. So let's start with the Rams. What do you think about, like, can the Rams bounce back and they recover? What do you think?
Yes, they can bounce back. They just had a bad game, and I think we might be undervaluing the Titans. Maybe at this point anymore we're not, but I think week 1 Titans took a pretty bad loss. And since wasn't it week 1? I believe it was week 1, and then they lost another game to was it Jacksonville or Jets that beat them in overtime? Either way, one of the horrible teams in NFL actually beat the Titans in overtime.
Jets,
and and since that happened, it was just like, what the heck is going on with the Titans? Get out of here. You're done. Believe it or not, Titans have the best record. That's the word I was looking for. Titans have the best record in the AFC right now.
In the AFC? The whole conference?
In the whole AFC, Titans have the best record of 7-2.
Let me fact check.
Not only right now, I'm
right.
99% sure of that. Not only are they winning their division, right now, if you go into the playoffs, they're the only team with a bye week, and they get home field advantage.
Yeah.
So Titans are not that bad of a team. So can Rams bounce back? I don't think there's much bounce back that they need to do. They just had a bad game against a very good team, in my opinion.
I mean, one chop. No, that was a chop block, but that Tyler Higbee in the end zone. That's the one. To me, he reestablished himself. He had one foot out of bounds, came back in, caught the ball, and he was in bounds. But that doesn't make him win the game. But that brings him within a field goal. So
yeah.
I don't know. I've seen calls like that where reestablishing yourself,
right?
On the field, I'm going to bring the Texans in. It's not the hat, but my Texans in. The interception thrown by Tyrod Taylor. I'll call it an interception, but it was a throwaway, which just happened to land in the hands of a player that reestablished himself just half a second before the ball got in his arms. And that was considered establishing yourself in the field, You
were not happy about that. I remember that.
I was not happy. You guys never commented back on my group text, but that's okay. You know what? I cried on my own. But, that goes to show, like, it's just the consistency, and the officiating, different levels and everything. Obviously, the Bears and the Pittsburgh Steelers game, that was another example of bad officiating, and little small stuff that just keeps adding up. And maybe it doesn't win the game for him, but that touchdown by Higbee in the end zone might have been a touchdown for me in fantasy football, but that's another point altogether. That would have put him within range, and who knows what happens at that point. Those small things. They have Cooper Kupp still doing his thing. Still, I don't know. I think he had 10 receptions at least. Probably he was getting in there, and Titans had a better game. Obviously, they won the game. They had the more points. Without Derrick Henry. So how about that? You lose one of the best running back in the league, arguably, and you come back and you still do this against one of the best teams in what division? NFC, right? I don't know. Where are we at? Rams?
Rams or NFC, yeah. They're a game. They're 2 games behind, I believe now. To
Cardinals.
No, 1 game behind Cardinals. Yeah, Rams are 7-2. Cardinals are 8-1.
NFC West, yeah. So that was a pretty important game for the Rams. Like you said, Titans are now best record in the AFC conference, and Rams could have been right up there with them. So, would have been a pretty darn close. It was an important game for both teams, and we saw what Titans are able to do without their star running back. So, yeah, it could be pretty nice going into the last stretch of the season, see what happens with them there. Let's see. But with great players comes great responsibility. And I think who I'm going to talk about. The OBJ watch is in effect. This guy is no longer in that uniform, by the way. He says he doesn't want to play with Baker. Where do you think he's going? He's officially – he hasn't picked anybody. Today was the first day he could pick somebody. Today's Wednesday, right? So no words yet. What do you think he should go to? He doesn't want to go to a bad team. He only wants to go to a good team. And the Bucks.
Fully understand that at this point he wants to go somewhere where he has a potential chance of winning the Super Bowl, at least, or at least playing in one. He wants to go to the Packers, it sounded like, and that's my number one choice for him. Aaron Rodgers continuously throws to one person right now. They're winning games, and Aaron Rodgers would be happy to get a number one or like 1-1 or 2-1, however you want to divvy up Adams and OBJ. But I'm sure that will make Rodgers very happy. That'll give the defense a bit more trouble. And OBJ is good at off-script plays, and Aaron Rodgers is good at off-script plays. So I think that'll be a good fit. He's going to a winning team, and I think he's going to a team that can potentially win a Super Bowl. Last year they were so close to going to it, and with the Chiefs situation, if Packers would have went, I think Packers would have won the game. I don't know. There was a doubt about that. So I think that's that. My picks for him is the Packers, the Saints, the Raiders, the Patriots. One of these. I think the Saints are a really good pick just because, again, like Michael Thomas, still out. He's out for the season, I believe. Right. And, they don't really have a deep threat. And OBJ could be a pretty good deep threat for them. But the only problem is Trevor Siemian, throwing the ball. It's not Aaron Rodgers, so I still think Packers is the best. The other pick is Raiders. As we all know, Henry Ruggs still not there anymore. Derek Carr's playing pretty well, minus last week. Good team, good defense, good everything. They have a potential chance of winning the division right now as it stands. I think that's a very good choice. And then lastly, Patriots. The only flaw that I see with the Patriots having him, Patriots could use a really good receiver right now. And I think OBJ is a really good receiver. Somebody for Mac Jones to just throw the ball down the field to. The only flaw that I see is I don't think OBJ is the most disciplined person. As a player or even just a coach, I don't think OBJ is the most disciplined person. And I think the biggest success to Bill Belichick is discipline. So if they're not going to go, be okay with each other, then that's going to come to an end real fast. It's going to go down south real fast. That's the only thing. So he's still great, in my opinion. He can still go anywhere, make good plays, help the team win, as long as he keeps the drama out of the locker room and out of the field. I think he does tend to get a little too dramatic sometimes, and it's just like, hey,
right,
game is the game. Your life is your life. Keep these separate.
I mean, OBJ's like me, he loves drama, so I don't know. I don't know if he can go.
Talk about not texting you back. Just crying a lot.
I just lit a couple candles and got the whole eucalyptus in my system. And anyways, I got over it, man. As I do every week with my Texans. But that's
can I just say something real quick about that? By the way, I was very upset this last Sunday because typically there's at least 2 games on Sunday morning or Sunday afternoon and noon when the game comes on. This week, the only game I was able to find on TV was Texans-Miami. That's like the last game I cared about. Is two teams who has 1 win each playing against each other. Nobody cares who wins. Nobody cares who loses. Well, some people care, but it's just like it doesn't make a difference in the NFL. Like after week 17, you're done.
Yeah, just like how like how I liken it. I know right now this is the worst season for my Texans, and I'm a fan through and through. I won't buy any tickets right now. Obviously, I don't want to go spend my money on losing product right now. But in order to appreciate such a good game like the Tennessee Titans versus the Rams on Sunday night, or Pittsburgh and Bears playing on Monday night, in order to appreciate all the beauty of the great games in football, I have to see the worst of it. And
that's your argument?
That was what I was seeing. Yes, I love the
that's worse than what I just said about the Texans.
No, I have to appreciate. So I gotta watch. I've watched every game of the Texans, and I'm gonna continue doing so. And I'm gonna appreciate how great the other teams are looking right now compared to my hometown team. But one day, Tom, I'm gonna be on the other side of this, okay? And it's gonna be great. So just we'll leave it there.
Whenever, maybe when I have children, or if you want to send one of your daughters,
yes,
I still think that one of them can make the NFL.
one of these days, man. You never know if miracles do happen. They can probably win another game too. No, they won't. Anyway,
Hey, listen, one of your daughters can be the first female quarterback in the NFL.
Of the Texans?
Just in the NFL, but she can play for the Texans. First female to go to an AFC Championship game. You'll be the first female on Super Bowl, and you're going to be on that field right after the game because family's welcome. And I'm going to be on there too because,
all right.
Why not? Because
I'm digging it. It's gonna be a good day, in the NFL. So
yeah, I'm gonna be on that field. It's gonna be go Texans, and you're just gonna be like, don't you talk a lot of crap about? I'm like, no, that's not me. That's my twin. That's my evil twin.
All right, but well, let's see here. There's a couple of we talked about it earlier about the teams that are leading their divisions right now. So want to take week by week. Next week we'll probably be talking more about who's more likely to make it to the playoffs, based on that. That's kind of like the halfway point now. It could be like week 9, right? So for most teams, it'll be week 9. So but right now, we want to focus on the AFC and the NFC East. The leaders in those divisions are the Bills and the Cowboys. So this is just like first impressions. We don't have to do any research. We don't have to see what we, first impression. I'm going to go down the list. I'm going to mark down your answers for historical accuracy for later on, okay? So right now the Bills are sitting at – what are they sitting? I just told the record too. Bills are sitting at 5-3, leading their division, and they have 9 games left in theirs. 4 of their last 9 games are division games, 2 against the Jets and 2 against the Patriots. So without further ado, what do you think? Jets, is that a win or a loss?
I'm scared to say it's a win at this point.
You
just lost to Jets.
Yes,
it's a win. It's going to be a win. Bills are they're going to win those games. Yes.
I'm like, guys, we shouldn't be doing this. What about this? Was a pretty interesting one. Colts are actually looking pretty decent this year too.
Where are they playing?
I don't have all the information, sir. I did not do that much research. I apologize.
That matters.
They're playing on neutral field.
Neutral field. I think I have more faith in the Colts than I do in the Bills.
At this point, yeah. They've been more consistent throughout their games too. Yeah. Not amazing, obviously. Their culture sitting.
Yeah, I think Josh Allen, as great as he plays, oftentimes he tends to be kind of inconsistent. But there's also this is also in the only way I'm picking the Colts is assuming Carson Wentz can stay healthy. Just FYI, just want to throw that out there.
This is all like gut instinct right here. Don't worry about it. When your picks come up next couple of weeks from now, you're more than welcome to change it. If the facts change, then your opinion can most definitely change with it. What about Saints? Saints is one we were just discussing a few minutes ago too, huh?
Oof.
Saints are sitting at 5-3 right now. Who knows what
I think the Bills can take them.
Agreed.
That's a hard one. I'm not going to lie because you never know which Saints are going to show up. You never know which Bulls are going to show up.
True. I mean, a lot of these teams, like we just talk about them and yeah, one week they're one. Even the Bills, how are we saying the Bills are not themselves sometimes? And yeah, they lose against Jaguars. What's to say they don't lose against the Jets? And then they got the Patriots. That's a division game right there. So,
do they play Patriots twice or once?
They
already played them once.
They play them. They play them 2 times. Once in this, what is that? Week 9, 10, 11, week 12, and then they play them again in week 15.
I'm gonna go 1-1.
So first one's a win, second one's a loss, and then after that, after the first Patriots game, they go and play the Buccaneers.
What week is that? Do you know?
That would be. Let's see, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13. Week 13.
Week 13. I think I'm going to give the S to the Bucs.
I mean, I don't know when their off week was. I didn't put that on there. I'll get better as the weeks go along. You said...
It doesn't matter. It's well, they both had their buys at this point.
So you count that as a win, you said, or a loss?
No, well, sorry. I think the Bucs are going to win that game.
Gotcha, okay. And Panthers.
Oh, win.
Win?
Yeah.
And then we got Falcons.
Which Matt Ryan is showing.
The one that beat the Saints is going to show up.
The one that beat the Saints. Then I got the Falcons.
All right, so yeah,
Dark horse, baby. I'm gonna pick the Falcons. Screw it.
and then they go and play the Jets one more time. So at the end of that'll be a crucial game to end their season right there.
That's when Jets are gonna sign out Mike White.
See what
And
he gets his wrist checked out. Maybe, hopefully, his wrist is okay after that second game. He kind of does a win too.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Bills.
Okay, so at that point, based on these, just gut check. Right now they're 5-3, so we're looking at a 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10-7 record. Not bad. I think I could win the division. So notable players: Josh Allen, 2,200 yards passing so far, 17 touchdowns. Jordan Poyer, free safety, 3 interceptions. He's like top 10. Those are top 10 in the league right now. So
I wouldn't be surprised if they don't win the division.
What's that?
I will not be surprised if they don't win the division.
Who would win it? That you would think that? Oh, this a plot twist?
Billy B. Bill Belichick, bro.
Are you? Oh, okay. Yeah,
Greatest defensive coach of all time.
I thought you were gonna say the Dolphins came back and won the whole thing, but
No, they suck.
no. So yeah, Patriots got the best chance right here. They're right there with them. They're 5-4 for all intents and purposes. You know, they're tied right now, 5-3 and 5-4. So,
the Patriots, even when Tom Brady was with them, they have a history of starting very slow. They used to start 2-2 very often.
Yeah.
And come back and go to AFC Championship games and win the game very often too. And I wouldn't be surprised if you see slight decline with the Bills and slight incline with the Patriots. And I think that's all it takes to just tip it over. Patriots are just one game behind right now. They still play the Bills twice, which means if you beat the Bills, not only is it a win for you, it's a loss for Bills. That can swing it pretty hard. They do play twice. I know I picked 1-1, but somewhere along the lines, I think Bills have a higher chance of losing more games than the Patriots. Now, I don't know both of their schedules off the top of my head. I know you just went through the Bills schedule, but again, we've had this discussion many times. I'm not going to get into it right now. I do think it's more Tom Brady than Bill Belichick, but I also think that it's not one or the other. Bill Belichick is still the greatest coach of all time, and I think Bill Belichick can win. I think Mac Jones is playing good. Josh McDaniels is playing play calls very good, and that defense is still great. So I wouldn't put that past them. So I will not be super surprised if the Bills don't win the AFC East or AFC North? East.
I hope you didn't see that big old sneeze I just did right there. So.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Good.
I thought you dropped a pen or something. You were gone.
Oh man, I gotta be quick on these things. So, but yeah, I mean, like Bill Belichick, you can't argue with that. He's a great coach and everything, and he can definitely turn the tide when it comes down to it. Sometimes, when it's really needed, when his coaching is effective right there, when it's the most effective, he's definitely one of the guys you want holding up. A few minor tweaks for mine, though. I think the Bills have a better chance of winning this division. I pretty much agree with all yours. I do think maybe they split the games with the Patriots, win and loss. I do agree with that one. And I also agree with the loss to the Bucs. But I know these are all gut checks, obviously as the season progresses and you can see how everybody's playing, what's going on. But the one that I think could be a little different, the Colts, I think the Bills can get this one. I think right now that would put them Jets winning one game, Colts win against the Saints, and then the Patriots. That's 4-game win streak right there. Puts them in a good spot to be like 5 losses. So maybe about 12-5, right? So for me, which I don't know how the Patriots schedule shapes up. I didn't really look at them just right now, but 12-5 seems to be like I would hope that would win a division, if nothing like or tied. So we'll see how the Patriots play it out, and who knows, maybe if some of those games turn the tide and they go through there. So, but moving on to the Cowboys though, in the other division.
You're asking these questions after the wrong week, man. I'm afraid to bet on all these teams right now.
These guys are winning their division. They're just like they're like the leaders. They're the leader of the pack, so to speak. Yeah. So, but yeah, terrible games. but the talent is still there, right? So we got the Cowboys have not as steep a schedule as the Bills, I don't think, in my opinion. They have 4 division games left as well. 2 of those games are against the Washington football team. 1
4
against
wins. Moving
yeah,
on.
one. So they got 4 more wins left right there, right? 1 against Giants and 1 against the Eagles. They've already won once against the Eagles, 41-21. They already won 1 against the Giants, 44-20. So they have pretty steep wins on them. So first game right off the bat, they got coming up is Falcons coming up next week. What you got there?
I'm gonna go with the Cowboys.
Cowboys, all right. So I got a win. Chiefs. Ooh, this is a tough one.
Cowboys. They're the better team. Right now, they're the better team.
Way
Chiefs still haven't figured it out, in my opinion.
The way the Chiefs are playing, yeah, for sure. I mean, they got that win, but that's not saying much right now. So, Raiders coming up after that. I would say, no. I'm gonna my answer. I think that would be a loss. I think the Raiders will win that game.
Yeah, I can see that game going both ways. I'll pick the Raiders with you. I think I agree with that. They gotta lose somewhere, and I gotta take the Raiders.
Yeah, I don't know. They've been playing they haven't been amazing, but they've been consistent. You know.
By the way, none of this means that when we get to that specific week when we're making our picks,
that
I'm not going to switch it. Just FYI, I just want to throw that out there.
We've already established you can most definitely change any of these. These are gut check picks, like these are like say how they're doing. Like see analyze, as the season goes and check out the leaders and what kind of road they have to the playoffs. And sure enough, next week we'll discuss it more in detail with all the teams and find out what our picks are moving forward. Next one after that will be Saints.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know.
Cowboys.
The Cowboys got this one. Yeah. I think I have to agree on that too. Yeah. Washington football team. Yeah. Giants. Wait a second. I'm gonna go. Where the Giants played. The Giants just beat the Raiders, man. I'm gonna go ahead and say the Giants win that game. What do you think?
That would be something. I think that would make me very happy. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, yeah, we give them a lot of wins. So, and then you got Washington football team. You think it's gonna be a sweep, right? They got the Cardinals. I'm gonna
go with the Cardinals, but also I'm pretty sure I'm offending the crap out of Rob by just missing the Washington football team. I got a text from Rob the other day telling me to stop disrespecting the Washington football team every single time I make my picks and I pick against them. What's their record? What do they have? 3 wins?
The Washington football team, they have 2 wins. 2 wins actually.
2 wins. Okay. Yeah.
So,
hey, Rob, there's a reason why I do what I do. There's a reason why I pick against Washington.
And who knows? Maybe they'll win the next 4 games, and then your pick will definitely take a little more consideration going up against the Cowboys. And they do finish the season off with the Eagles. That one's a tough one too. Who knows?
The Eagles are probably going to be the toughest one out of all this, but I do think the Eagles are on a downward spiral. It seems like.
Yeah, I think
so.
I know. Yeah, I'm probably in for a win also. So I think we got pretty same one. You got them with the win for the Giants, and I got as a loss for the Giants. I mean, loss against the Giants. So that would put them right there. 6 for you. They're 6-2, and then with that new record, if my computer was to go faster, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and what? 13-4.
Yeah.
And then I would have a slightly lower, 12-5. So both records. I mean, I think the roads for the Bills and the Cowboys seem to be there. As it's their season to lose right now.
In summary, they're more than likely not going to have number 1 seed, which they are going to win their division, which means they get a home game, but they don't get a bye week. That's what's going to happen here. Dude, at this point, I'm pretty sure Cardinals are just going to have the bye week. I mean, they're winning games without even their starters. That's just.
I know, yeah, they got pretty good for NFC at least, and like you said, for the AFC, the Titans look like to be the strong contenders right now.
Yeah.
Moving into that, so I mean, it's tough. It's both of them really have to do their job. There's no room for error right now. One or two of those games turns the wrong way, and yeah, you got 10-7 season. and they're gonna cut it. That's not gonna.
And I will say, I was so tough on the Cardinals this whole time because a few weeks ago we were talking about that, and I straight up said, "Hey, don't get too excited about the Cardinals because they are, they've shown to decline before, and they probably will." Blah blah. I can't until they actually prove that. At this point, I can't keep talking. They just keep winning. Even the Green Bay game, it was just that one bad play by one player that basically lost him the game. I don't necessarily think the entire team needs to be punished for that. So, yeah, they're playing lights out right now.
Agreed. Well, just flipping the script a little bit. I was going to talk a little bit about boxing and baseball. I know we're running against the clock right now, but I'll just take a few minutes just to discuss the big pay-per-view fight that happened this weekend. It was Canelo versus Plant. I don't know if anybody caught that one. It was a great fight. Lasted 11 rounds. The longest that Canelo's gone the last year. He's fought 4 times in 11 months, all against champions. So Undisputed became the 6th man in history to become Undisputed champion in the 4-belt era. So, as we know, in the boxing world, there's the WBA, WBC, WBO, and IBF. So if you win the 4 belts, it's really hard to do that, obviously. There's only 5 other guys besides him. That's Terrence Crawford at junior welterweight, Bernard Hopkins, Alexander Usyk, Jermaine Taylor, Josh Taylor. So that's it. And so Canelo becomes the 6th man. Just a great. I had more and everything. I don't want to run up too much, but I had more talk about the fighters and what they had to get there. But it's a true testament. He had a goal in mind back in November last year. He said, "I'm going to be undisputed," and he just went through the whole division. So I just wanted to give him a little props for becoming that and doing his job and taking care of business. So I don't know. Did you catch any highlights? I know I had to show something on ESPN somewhere.
I saw some highlights. That was pretty much it. But I mean, it like you said. I think the number one thing that they mentioned during the fight was he hasn't gone that many rounds. That's the most he's gone. But I mean, he hung in there, and he fought it out. So good job by him. And it's a lot of confidence to make comments like that, but to actually follow through and come through, that's
big time.
Great.
Yeah.
That's greatness. So that's respect. I don't know much about any of these fighters, but I mean, at the end of the day,
man, just stick with me, man. I'll get you that knowledge. It's gonna be great. You can see a lot of good stuff and everything. I was watching.
I try to stay away from violence. That's why I watch football.
Just keep it on TV, the bad calls and everything. So, no, I was watching been watching the fights, and my daughter's just watching, what's going on? I can't believe the fight's going 11 rounds, and we're just sitting there watching. And sure enough, he took care of business, and it was a great performance. I gotta admit, one quick point I do gotta give Plant. He came in with the game plan, and there's no way that the fight goes on 11 rounds without a clear game plan from Plant. His jab was second to none. Frustrated Canelo a few times throughout the fight. You can see it. The most I've seen Canelo frustrated, I don't know, maybe that was just his look. He just got hit too many jabs. But he was doing his job, and then come in there and you have a game plan. But in the end, it was just Canelo was too much. So it was nice to see. I didn't get to see the UFC fights. I had to pick boxing over UFC this time. I've been watching UFC the last 8 weeks or 9 weeks. So I took a break, got some bigger gloves. And that was pretty.
It's good to mix and match, right?
Yeah, of course. There's plenty for everybody. There'll be plenty more. There's another UFC fight coming up this next weekend, so I'm going to be ready to see Max Holloway take on. Man, I know Max Holloway's fighting. I know that for sure. So I'll be looking into that fight too. But besides that, coming down to the stretch, any other topics that we didn't cover? Maybe you want to final thoughts for you?
I thought you had a couple of baseball things you want to talk about.
Baseball? No, yeah, I'm down for that. If you're cool, I know.
Show off with that.
I'm an Astros guy, of course. I keep up with I try to keep up with the whole league. There's a lot of free agents on the market right now. Nobody's really made a move, but I know that the Houston Astros made one offer to Carlos Correa. It was 5 years, $160 million, which some fans are calling that a slap in the face to Carlos Correa. But I mean, Astros haven't really shown to offer a lot of big a lot of years on their contracts. 160 million. I don't think it's too bad of an offer. He's 27 years old. What do you think? Like 5 years, 160 million, or go all out and get your 10-year deal, 300 plus million?
So, I mean, I think that's a personal preference, right? Because, look, first of all, before I say there's more money elsewhere, $160 million is a lot of freaking money.
It is.
Right? Now, I mean, of course, if somebody's going to offer you $300 million for a 10-year contract, obviously that's almost double the money. I fully understand for someone taking that. But that being said, but when you have options between, look, you offer me a job for $25,000 versus $75,000, I'm going to have to go with the $75,000 one because that makes a big difference to my style of living. But you offer me $160 million versus $300 million. At that point, I feel like I have some choices. Like, okay, forget the money part. The money is there, right? To me, it's just like, you played with the Astros most of your career, at least thus far, the few years that you have played. The Astros are actually playing really well right now. You just went all the way to the World Series. Unfortunately, you lost, but you did just make it all the way to the World Series. So the team is still really good. You still have a potential chance of going back and actually winning a World Series with the Astros if you stay with them.
Right.
Houston, up and coming. It's already the fourth largest city in America, but it's also still continuously growing. Not a bad place to live if you're not afraid of hurricanes and floods and humidity.
Yeah.
Besides that,
of course,
definitely not a bad city to live in. And Astros fans are freaking great. I mean, there are probably no Yankee fans. I get that, but I do think it does give you a chance to win. Also, make your money, stay with your home team, and look. If all goes well and you're still playing great 4 years later, maybe they'll offer you another. At that point, they might offer you $200 million for another 5-year extension. And if that's the case, then you made more money then and you didn't have to move. Your cost of living is a lot less here in Houston compared to any other, New York or wherever you're going. And those are my thoughts. And this could also be a biased opinion because I do live in Houston. But
of course, I 100% agree. Like right now, the Houston fan in me was, great to take that 5-year, $160 million. I get it though. Like he hasn't been healthy maybe this is the first year that he's been healthy in the last 4 years. He played a great year. Obviously, the postseason wasn't amazing, but that doesn't take away from his great season. He got a Golden Glove, shortstop. So got a lot of accolades and everything, and you want to take your shot. A lot of players, because he came into the league a little older in life, this is his first chance at a free agent contract. So, like this morning, I just heard the Yankees are in the mix. We're now talking to his agent about making a deal, and they got pockets, deep pockets over there. So I can see it. Maybe the hometown of me wants him to do that, but like the pessimist in me thinking, he's going to be a Yankee by the end of this, or the end of this postseason, or off season. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out.
I can't blame him either way.
No,
I can't blame a guy for taking another $140 million.
Right.
It's just
so. But hopefully by next week we're able to see some moves in baseball. Find out what's going on over there, because right now the CBA expires at December 2nd. So it'll be interesting to see if anybody takes any contracts before or waits till after and see what can happen. So besides that, just wanted to leave. I know we're coming towards the end. So I just want to make sure everybody, whoever's watching and everything, thanks for joining the show. We got lots of places to be on here. Facebook. We have facebook.com/Cool Sports Guy. Instagram, The Cool Sports Guy. Twitter, Cool Sports Guy. I'm missing anything, Tom? YouTube. I don't have an actual channel for YouTube name, but the link is on our Facebook page. So if you check that out, click, like, subscribe, share with your friends, tell everybody about it. Come in for the conversation, and we'll keep on bringing more sports topics at hand. So, got anything to close us out with, Tom?
Nope. Let's do it. We'll see you next week, and hopefully it won't be such a lopsided week for the NFL, and some of our picks will be accurate.
For real, yeah, I agree. So, all right, man, it's good seeing you. Good chat, and we'll if everybody wants to join back on Friday, we'll catch you guys, you and Jared, for the weekly picks. And like you said, hopefully they turn out better this week, right? So,
yes, sir.
All right, let's see here.